Much better, much better. All right, so we want to welcome you to our Wednesday meeting of 1 Million Cups. This is the Lake County Eustis chapter. We'll get that fixed on the slide presentation. Again, we tell everybody every week we welcome members from all over Lake County, including South Lake. So if you know somebody, a business owner that is in South Lake that you think this would fit for them, please invite them to join us every Wednesday. So, again, the 1 Million Cups for Lake County and Eustis, that's going to be held here every week. If you have not signed in, there's some QR codes around here. This just kind of helps us track the attendance. Please sign in at some point before you leave today. So, a couple housekeeping things as we get started. We do ask to give the presenters our full attention, that we keep side conversations to a minimum. We want to silence our cell phones, and then for the bathrooms, the ladies is through that door right there, and the men's is up here behind me in the corner. And then lastly, we are live on Facebook. We have checked it. I've listened to it one time before. George has been on it. It's coming through really well. The one thing we're trying to build, Delaney is monitoring for any feedback from Facebook. The one thing we're trying to build, if you can't be here, or if someone you know would like to be part of this, but they can't be here, tell them to join us live. We've seen some other chapters that they get really, really good feedback from the people live on Facebook, and hopefully the live meetings and the people that watch on Facebook will turn into in-person meetings. So we want to thank our hosts, the Mega Workplace, George and Pam, for hosting this every single Wednesday, opening up this space to us. You know, and the one thing that we kind of forget to talk about, this is free every week. It's free to present, it's free to attend, it's free to be part of, and it's just a great opportunity for everyone to come together. And, you know, again, we want to thank, let's give Pam and George a round of applause.
Can I take a second and introduce a couple elected officials that we have here today? My favorite commissioner from the city of Eustis, Commissioner Willie Hawkins, has been here as the longest running commissioner coming to our 1 Million Cups. So we're grateful to that, and he's brought along some great people. So continue bringing them for us, please, Commissioner. And our director at the Chamber of Commerce, as well, who has taken over the position very strongly, Marie Alberti. And you always want to take a chance to meet a cop, because you never know what happens when you're driving down the street. So everybody can say they know Officer Coe. Remember David Allen Coe, that's his uncle. So he is a Western family, and he does some singing over at the one of the local bars every once in a while. So thank you.
You never know. People have hobbies. We talked about that a couple of weeks ago about our odd hobbies. Maybe you're singing what's his. This is also not only the Mega Workplace, it's also home of the UCF Incubator. So one of the things we like to say, that when you come to this building, if you have a startup, and we'll go in a minute, and you have a startup, you have an existing business that you want to be successful, everything happens under this roof. You come here to the 1 Million Cups and you present. You go down and you meet with John Doremus at the Small Business Development Center. He will help you get a business plan together and get your business up and running. We have the UCF Incubator that is going to help guide you through that business, because a couple weeks ago we did some figures that I think 70% of small businesses will fail within the first 5 years. So this is what this is about. It's to make those businesses succeed. And then, you know, we can't forget that as your business grows, I think, and Ray and I have talked about this, and Monty and I have talked about this, the next natural progression in that is joining the chamber to make additional contacts outside of what you've done here. You've got your business growing. Chambers are a great way to grow your network, make connections, and hopefully continue to build your business. So our coffee and donut sponsors, we want to thank Foxtail Coffee for the coffee. They sponsor this and provide this for us every week. And then United Southern Bank has been our donor sponsor since we started up, and they continue to be gracious enough to sponsor that for us each week. So who's the first timer here? All right, we've got a few. So what is 1 Million Cups? So for the first time people here, 1 Million Cups is about presentations and not pitches. It's about connections and not networking. You know, it's probably for those that are regulars, it's the broken record, but I like to really kind of emphasize, we don't come here to network. We don't come here to try to, you know, gain business from that person or someone in the room. We come here to support each other. So it's a very comfortable space. There's great programs out there for that. This is not one of those. So when the presenters are up here, they're presenting with something they need help from you. And again, the connections will happen naturally. Business will happen naturally from those connections. So after our presenter today, we will give away one of our coffee cups or whatever the person wants to take home with them today. I think the new coffee cups are really cool. So who is eligible to present? So the purpose behind 1 Million Cups is that to help newer businesses, again, within that 1 to 5 year time frame, be successful. So if you have a business idea, the last couple of weeks it's been great because we've had 2 business concepts. And it was presenting here just to see, are these viable concepts? Is this something that, as successful business people that are attending, will work and something that makes sense? And if it does, how do they move that forward? A newer business, 1 to 5 years old. And the way our regional kind of explained to us when she came a couple of months ago, it's that what keeps you up at night, thought in your head, is why you want to be here and you want to present. So if you're a newer business, but you have that one area, and it's like you're waking up at 2 o'clock in the morning going, how do I solve this? How do I solve this? This is where you want to be. If you know somebody that wants to present, is a newer business, we always recommend have them come visit 1 or 2 first, and then sign up to present, because this way they can see how the process is going to work. If you're an established business looking for a new venture, where you're going to start a second part of your business, not with the main one. We've had some conversations about established businesses wanting to present. Unfortunately, that doesn't fit the mold of what 1 Million Cups is all about. But if you have a business that you want to start a second part of it, that's what we're here for. We've had a couple that have presented with that. That's like, hey, I'm established here. I want to start a new process to that. So that we are more than welcome and would love to have you up here to present. So we want you to stay connected. This is that's our Facebook group. We've got 152 likes. We've got 239 followers. Let's try to get that, I don't know, 3 would be interested in being here, or this would be a good fit for them. Tag them in that page, let them see it, and then they can also follow again the meetings on Facebook Live. So if you want to be an organizer, before we go back there, I don't know if our website's up there. Look for us on our website, like our website, follow our website, and then this way you'll get updates as we move forward. It's 1 Million Cups on Lake County /Eustis. If you want to be an organizer, if you want to help, we have, I think, 12 great people that are willing to help every week to make the meetings go off and be as successful as we've had a great start to. But if you want to join us, we're always looking for more people to join us. So, before we get started, the question of the day. I thought Monty came up with an awesome one today. So what's the most unexpected or unusual skill or talent that you have that has already come in handy in your entrepreneurial journey? Who wants to take the lead? Eddie.
I have circus history.
You know what?
Circus.
You gotta give it for us next.
Politician.
I'm not a politician. Actually, I worked for Disney. It was called the Disney Fair. So it looked like a circus and attached to the state fairs, but I was a performer. And we had to learn how to juggle. So they taught us how to juggle. We had to walk around in an inflated clear ball, and I did acrobatics from an aerial wire. So I'm in real estate, and I am in politics, so I'm going back to my circus roots.
So I think what we'll do, between presenters time, grab some muffins and we're going to see if Addie can actually jump.
Yeah.
David, you have one.
Yeah, so I don't know if it's if you call it a skill, but I can only fall on cold. So, and now since we're doing Junkie Monkey, some houses we go into, so I'm always like, don't worry about smell. I'm like, I can't smell.
He has no sense of smell.
That might be a special skill. And if you guys have not met Damon, meet this kid after you. This is an awesome kid. Delaney, different members of her family are awesome. So take a minute to meet Damon.
I I was a sign language interpreter, and so sometimes my gestures are more meaningful than just this.
Anybody else? Yes.
I read, write, and speak fluent Spanish.
Very good. That comes in handy a lot. Anyone else?
Storytelling.
Storytelling.
Yeah, I'm a storyteller. That's the way you connect with people.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's one thing I always say. It's like, if you want to get a point across, tell a story. That's the best one. Last one. Anyone else? Last call. Ma'am?
So I used to coach my kids' soccer team, and if anybody's done that, it's like herding cats. So moving forward into business, and you got everybody going, trying to get in one direction, it's herding cats again.
Did you coach them from young ages?
What?
Did you coach from young ages?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's herding cats.
I did the year after T-ball, and it's so much fun just because kids, they just want to be here. They just want to run. Even if they don't get the ball, they just run. All right, so we will prepare for something next week. I think Bonnie and I talked, next week will be something Christmas related. So, a little bit of a change up today. But normally, the format is, we have two presenters. We do 6-minute presentations. Is a guideline. If you go over, it's okay, but it will cut into your feedback time. And then we normally do 16 minutes of feedback from everybody attending to help with their what keeps them up at night thought. So generally it's 22 minutes. If you go 8 minutes, don't worry about it. You don't have to end your presentation. You'll just have 14 minutes of feedback. So we had a couple of scheduling conflicts. So today, what we're going to do is we do have one presentation, and then everybody start thinking. And if you go back to the screen where it shows who is eligible to present, so established businesses generally aren't eligible, but if you're an established business, this is your opportunity. We're going to pick 2 people that want to volunteer. We're going to give you 1 minute to kind of go over just an area that you would like some feedback, advice on, and then we're going to take 10 minutes of feedback from everybody attending. So this is a great opportunity that if you're not eligible to present, we're going to do this, and we'll get some of these things in as the year goes on. You know, when we have a conflict where somebody's not able to make it and we can't fill that spot. Again, we're filled through the end of this month. We need presenters beginning January. So again, if you know somebody or if you're in a position you want to present, let's get them signed up, and we'll get them on our website and get them ready to present. So that's what we're going to do after Jared is done presenting. So for today's presenter, we're going to introduce him. Jared is one of our awesome organizers. Jared's jumped in to help coach the presenters and review their presentation because we want to make sure that they get the most out of their time presenting. And again, if you talk to some of the presenters, this is not an easy thing to do. As a presenter, you're showing a vulnerability because you have an area that you have to admit, I need help with. So we appreciate that. And with that thought too, if you look, we have a slideshow going on for the presenters. We've got a business card holder at the sign-in just for presenters because we want to give them an extra thank you for taking the time and effort to come up and present. So Jared jumped in. He's reviewing presentations because, again, we want to make sure that our presenters get the most from their time up here and most of the feedback. So, you know, Jared has just put on so many hats from joining us. Same thing with all of our organizers. You know, Delaney's jumped in and taken the Facebook. So with that, let's give a good round of applause for Jared. Jared Calicay from Dos Alice Latin Soccer.
Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
So I've got exciting news. We're going to be presenting today, and then next in January, our first meeting in January, we're going to be sponsoring the pastries and coffee. So you'll actually be able to sample Dos Alice Latin coffee. But my name is Jared Calicay. I'm the co-founder of Dos Alice. Dos Alice stands for 2 wings. So this is the agenda for today. So this is our mobile unit. We are primarily a mobile coffee shop. This is us at one of our events. Up here is our chicken empanada and then our guava and cheese casitos. But today we're going to talk about us. We're going to talk about Dos Alice and then the community help, or what I hope to get help from you all. So this is me, my family. This is my wife, Deanna. Deanna and I met in college while working at Starbucks in Tallahassee. We were there at Florida State when Starbucks only had one location in Tallahassee. So they just paved the roads and they put up a Starbucks, and that's when we were there. We happened to work at the same store. Deanna was actually my boss. Don't tell anybody. I ended up having to leave Starbucks because she was my boss. She's still my boss. We've been married 15 years. Next month will be 16, so I'm doing something right. We have 3 wonderful kids. Uriah there. He's 14, Raleigh is 12, and then Valen is 9. Uriah actually goes to Eustis High. He's a freshman there. He's involved in the band and ROTC, and then Raleigh's our athlete. He's in football and basketball and a bunch of stuff, and then Valen's a cheerleader and does a bunch of other stuff. Deanna works as her full-time job. She works as Chief Operations Officer of Navigate Construction and Restoration of Orlando. And then my full-time gig is I'm a professor of business at Valencia College with expertise in social entrepreneurship and innovation. And I've been doing that so long that when the opportunity came along to start Dos Alas, I said I might as well put my money where my mouth is. There's an old adage that says those who do those who can't teach, and I don't believe in that. So we jumped in. We founded on March 2nd, 2020 with the mission of creating community through Cafecito. If you remember, that was literally 2 weeks before everything shut down. So we started up our coffee journey. We incorporated. We were going to get a brick and mortar, and then every single person that we knew that was in coffee had just been told to shut down in the entire country, in the entire world. And so we were like, oh, okay, well, let's not. Now what do we do? And we pivoted, like all good entrepreneurs, and we got a mobile unit, which in Florida we were still able to operate under very strict PPE and all that stuff, but because we were outdoors, we were still able to operate. The Dos Alas comes from a poem by Lola Rodriguez de Tio, in which she says, Cuba and Puerto Rico are 2 wings of the same bird. And she wrote a poem called Cuba and wrote that into the poem. My wife is half Puerto Rican and half Cuban, so she is Dos Alas. And so our coffee company embraces all of Latin culture and or as much as we can, and all Latin flavors. Our coffee is primarily Cuban-based, so we do Cuban roasts, we do café con leches, corditos, coladas, etc. We've served them in Miami, and we've gotten great reviews, and we've served them up in Georgia and all over the state of Florida. So we have the what I would say is the best café con leche in the entire state of Florida. And hopefully in the very near future we'll taste it. All right, so we've been in business for about 3.5 years. And this is just by numbers. We have 5 baristas, myself and my wife included. So we have 3 employees that work with us. We've done events, we've done pop-ups, and we've done catering. Our events, we've done car shows, market days, grand openings, farmers markets, etc. We've done a frisbee competition, or disc frisbee. I'm saying disc golf. Sorry. Don't hold it against me. I know they're very serious. The guys came with like these gigantic bags filled with like 50 discs in them. And I was like, man, I'm really happy I'm not competing, because I would have shown up with 1 frisbee and been laughed out of the park. But we do those. We've done in the 3.5 years. We've done 163 events. We've done pop-ups, so these are kind of side of the road, parking lots, etc. We've done 208 pop-ups. We've done in Sorrento, which is where we're based. Youth athletics, so Pop Warner games, Little League games. We did some stuff in East Orlando early on, and then we've been throughout Lake County. And then our catering, which is something that we do, but we don't really focus on. We've done catering for a lot of elementary schools, a lot of middle schools, high schools around the area, doctor's offices, law offices, and then also quinceañeras and weddings. So as an alternative to alcohol, or in addition to alcohol, having a mobile coffee shop is pretty convenient. We have 2 units. We have the one that you saw in that first picture, the one on wheels, and then we also have a kiosk that we can push into a space. Those are our two units. In addition to the coffee, we serve empanadas, beef and chicken. We serve pastries. We serve cheese quesitos, and then also guava and cheese. And then we have really good breakfast sandwiches as well. We try to stick with that kind of handheld street food. So something you can grab and go with tends to be what we tend to do. Think anything that's Latin without a fork. And this is our community help. So these are the things that we need some help with. We have been very busy, and we love to be busy, and but we now kind of have to make some decisions, which is why we're here, or we're coming to you. And the decisions are, okay, now what do we do? We can continue to do 100 plus, events and pop-ups and so forth, but it gets tiring. And so here's a couple of things that I need help with. Coffee kiosk location ideas. I'd like to be able to get the kiosk into a space where it can stay for a number of days of the week. And so the thing about our current operations is it only works if we're working. And I'd like something that we could work, like have employees at, and it'd be working when we're not, when I'm not physically there and so forth. With our trailer, I have to be able to pull it with a truck, and there's too much liability right now for us to be able to just have someone else pull it and so forth. It's just, imagine pulling your business with one of your employees. It's a little scary. So right now we don't do that. That's coffee, trailer, logistics, and then the last one is something we've been flirting with for basically 3.5 years online. Whether people would buy their coffee online through subscription, and then also other gifts, so shirts and swag and all that kind of stuff. There's a lot of stuff out there. Would it be advantageous for us or not? Okay, that's 6 minutes went by really fast.
Are you good?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
Yep.
All right.
So when you say online, do you mean like shipping bags of coffee to people? I get 3 bags shipped to me every 2 weeks, and that's how we do our coffee. We grind it and we brew it, but it's shipped from Georgia. This would be more local as you guys are roasting it here? Or?
Yeah, so our roaster is actually in Santa Rosa Beach in the Panhandle. What we use, Amaveda Roaster, they were the first B Corp in Florida. And they have a special blend, Cuban roast blend that they actually blend for us.
I think you should definitely pursue that because we love variety, and I'm paying $14 a bag for coffee because it's better than I can find at Publix.
Yep.
I think that's a good add-on to your business that doesn't cost a whole lot of manpower. You're not being somewhere, you're just shipping your coffee out.
Yep.
Cool. We're just then get it and then pay.
So you put online gifts and subscriptions, which I just bought a combination of all those for my brother for Christmas for coffee. So last year, one of our employees bought me a 6-month subscription where every month I get a new bag of coffee roasted differently than last month with a card about the region, and it tells me all about it's Actis Coffee Company.
Okay.
So I got, and Christmas lasted 6 months for me. 6 different bags of coffee. And so I was like, cool, I'm gonna do this for my brother because we draw names and don't buy for everybody in the family. So you could do something like that. And then as far as the swag stuff, the poem really would connect with the Latin culture, especially in Florida. So if that's available online too. But as far as the subscription, I think if you did something like that, gift giving holiday, that monthly subscription, like I pay $50 for him to get 3 bags of coffee, right? And that's shipped and that's all packaged and it comes in a pretty package. And so his Christmas is going to last 3 months.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Awesome, thank you. Kid.
Twofold, just to kind of build off the subscription thing. I haven't heard of OMG Coffee Excellence in Leesburg, but they do that. So it might be a good local business. They're very nice that you can sit and chat with and kind of see what they do as far as their online presence for sales and stuff. But on top of that, and I just didn't know if you guys might have considered it once you start getting your kiosk locations and stuff, is signing up for some of the delivery services. I don't always have time to go pick up my coffee, so if somebody could bring it to me, that would be really great.
Yeah, no, absolutely. We currently do all of our, so we pop up in Sorrento on Friday mornings, and we deliver within 7 miles ourselves. And so, yeah, well, we've looked at DoorDash and Uber Eats and so forth, yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
Yeah.
Too close to, the subscription thing, I love that idea. Have you ever heard of Cratejoy?
Yes.
Yeah, it's a great way, it makes people find you. So I love that. We've done great presents through that. It's the gift that keeps giving. So I don't know what the cost is on that, but that's a great way to look. And then I like the idea of doing a stand, this is your kiosk location idea, so that people can find you all the time. They know that you're there all the time. And then delivering within that. I'm not sure what you're saying with the coffee trailer logistic issues.
Yeah, that's the, so like I said, right now, due to liability, I'm the only, well, my wife, myself, and one of our employees are able to pull the trailer. But it requires one of us to be there. So if we open with the trailer, then one of us has to be there. So I'd like to brainstorm or have some ideas of how.
So if you rented a lot space or, a parking area for the kiosk location, you would be able to leave it there overnight? You would feel safe with that?
Yeah, probably not. Well, the kiosk would have to be indoors. But the trailer possibly. It depends on the area, depends on what's going on. Depends on if the police officer's singing at the local bar.
Just give the police free coffee, Greg.
First question I have for you, you mentioned croquetas, do you have those?
We don't currently, but
that is,
well, we can.
Yes, that is a no, not having those.
Any particular kind?
Huh?
Any particular kind?
The hamon. And then I do have a couple more questions for you. Do you know what your end goal is for your businesses? What are you striving? What's your pinnacle goal of your business?
Yeah, I want to be the Latin Starbucks.
Okay, that's broad.
Yeah, I know. In reality, I'd like to have 3 or 4 locations. So we started with the mission of creating community through Cafecito, so community through coffee, and the idea is to advance the communities that we're in. And so I'd like to have 3 or 4 community-based coffee shops that are in operation throughout Central Florida.
Okay, so you know the concept of bodegas, right? Where it's centered, community, and that's where you service. Have you done the demographics of this area where you want to open up one of these places? It's like a bodega style. Have you done that?
Yeah, well, we
about the concentration of Puerto Ricans.
Yes, we have, and we've changed a few times. That's why we were in East Orlando originally, because we thought, okay, the folks that are going to dig us the most are going to be Hispanic, and they're going to be, Puerto Rican. Let's go to East Orlando. We were in East Orlando, and we did well. But then we got invited to Oviedo, and we went to a heritage event in Oviedo. And the folks there, it was primarily white folks, and they loved the coffee, and they were raving about it way more than the East Orlando market. And so we have Latin-based coffees, and that's what we cater to, but we also do others. If you order a latte, a cappuccino, a mocha, and so forth, we do that. I think really where we want to be is just where people want high-quality craft coffee. Done in a way that is reminiscent of maybe their grandmother or grandfather used to make.
Is one of your end goals maybe to be able to have a blend that's specially to you? Or
yes,
that would be a suggestion where it's a residual resale aspect of it. It's your own blend that's at all of these locations in the future. That's something to consider. So then you have that marketing of ordering like online and all that stuff. It's like, wow, this is something here.
Thank you.
Yeah, one thing, we'll make our way back around, that I will say is the online ordering is a big thing. And I know you've got Deanna. Make your website user-friendly, because there's a coffee that Disney sells that I love and I would order it online. I would go back to reorder. I couldn't, all I wanted to do was order coffee. I just gave up. And it's like I didn't order it because the website is not friendly. And it's like, it has to be easy, so make sure you have a good website. All right, we're gonna go here, then we're gonna go to George, Candace, and then Kitty.
kiosk locations, Howey in the Hills in association with the city of Howey in that little market square. They have a coffee similar to what you went to. It is the second company that's come in, so I don't know how well they're doing there. The other thing is, are you familiar with Boxy Park in Arizona? So that is where you can keep your kiosk there. You don't have to have any logistic problems. Also, are you familiar with Johnson's Market in South Lake County? Just opened up. It's in Claremont. They have kiosks there also. Want to do coffee. Another thing is West End Plaza in South Lake County. Claremont, they're interested in possibly doing a Boxy Park kind of thing. I have the two gentlemen who are the proprietors of Education Concord. All right.
George.
Just wanted to share with you that I had accidentally learned an ice cream company with a truck was going out and going into neighborhoods in Lake County where they had HOAs and group get-togethers. There's so many of them that do a monthly get-together out in the street, and they get a food truck, and the numbers were astronomical. That was the last place I would have thought to go there. I would have thought the volume would be very low. And they're giving them guarantees too as to how many people will buy, and it gets you great brand recognition, and then go with the online and the little flyers.
No, he already answered it. It's okay.
Oh, Kaylee, Juan, and then John.
Obviously, there's a Eustis market that just opened, an outdoor marketplace. But another thing, like, don't sleep on the colleges. Those kids live off of that. UCF has a couple of different, like, small stands, you know. That might be really good. Yeah, Lake Tech, that's a really good option.
And a thought on that before we go to Quan, because Quan, I think you'd be good answer this too. When I was in Michigan, I got away across country, they would have had different meets, they would bring out coffee trucks out there. Is there a way to get coffee trucks or contracts with the school board to be at different sporting events like football games? And I know, I mean, Michigan gets cold, but when she did her regionals, that thing was just non-stop, because you've got 100 runners, you've got 300 parents and grandparents. Yeah. That might be a thought.
So, speaking of sporting events, your son, I was listening online, so I didn't miss that presentation, I want to let you know. But if your son's in the band, of course, the football games, you can always post up right there. I know there's another coffee truck from a different school that also posts up, and they say some of their best numbers are there.
Really?
You spoke about 100+ events. Where I would choose some of the events that are most profitable, and if you guys have been in business for a couple of years, as to closing down for COVID, I would say you know what the market is. Like if you're at the flea market, let's just say hypothetically, if you're at the flea market and that month or whatever it is that you were there for, it's like, hey, this is not a good spot for us. We need to move, you know. So I would also say, I know you guys have coffee. I'm not a coffee drinker. Candace knows. I don't want to say I hate coffee. But do you ever think of like a spritzer to get someone like myself, that's a significant other who is, with the wife of a coffee drinker?
Yep.
Hey, I'll get something too, just to be able to say, hey, what do you want? If you don't want something coffee based, we've got something cream based, you know. So, but how far will you travel? And where's the most profitable spot?
Yeah. Well, right now we're really focusing in on Lake County, Orange, and Seminole counties. We have gone down to Miami, and we've gone all the way up to Atlanta for specific types of events that were week-long, etc. But we'd really like to stay within probably a 50-mile radius of this area here.
And what's the most profitable spot to date right now that you have that you can think of? Is it Lake County or is it?
So the most profitable events, the spots have been events where there's large numbers of people, obviously. So we've done the last 2 years. We've done Burning Bike in Daytona, which is a bookend to Bike Week, Daytona Bike Week, and that's probably been our single most profitable event. But there's estimated about 10,000 people that attend that. So that's hard to duplicate, obviously, everywhere.
All right, let's keep Jared here, because I've had his coffee and it's good. All right, we'll go to John, Candace, and then Greg.
Just for the information to the group, SBDC does Boomerang analysis of your website, so it gives you a ranking on a scale of 1 to 100 and about a 22-page report on how to make it better. So that's
awesome.
That's definitely wow.
Candace.
As a coffee connoisseur and addict, I didn't realize that you are literally a stone throw away from my house. But it's kind of, when I find something I like, I want it every day.
Yeah.
Especially my coffee. So you're only there on Fridays. Is there any way that you could become more staple in that location, so that way you have brand awareness that's reaching a little bit further?
Yeah.
Because like if I have it on Friday, I definitely don't want to wait till next Friday.
Yeah, that's been one of our challenges as far as the pop-ups go. We can, the spot that we pop up in Sorrento at 437 and 46 in JJ's parking lot, they have offered it to us as much as we want to go there for what we compensate them for. The issue is the logistics with the trailer, and I'm trying to figure that out. Because it's not as easy as just giving someone the keys to open up a shop. They have to be able to drive the shop to the location.
If we wanted to follow you per se, what are you doing right now for the people that are following you to continue along on your journey?
Facebook and Instagram primarily.
So you have a calendar to show where
Yes.
you're every day? All right, two more quick ones. Greg, Todd, and then we'll wrap up with Greg. Greg.
You know, from what you're trying to do, I think that bodega style would be the best, and she brought up a great point. Coffee is not one of those things where you can have it one day and then wait until Friday. And so I think one of the suggestions I would have for you would be to find an established place and open up like an espresso stand fixed place to where that area can go there. It could be a little drive-through, whatever, and do something like that. And then also these big apartment complexes. I know my in-laws in North Carolina, they have food trucks coming in, and I get information from that every week of what food truck or whatever's coming in. But that would be a great one to hit up the big apartment complexes and have it on the weekend where you come in and or weekend, whatever. And that's a great way of awareness in that regard.
Thank you. All right, 1 minute left.
Quick oddball idea for you. There's a lot of lakes around here, and on like a Saturday morning when I drive by, there's like 90 trucks with trailers that everyone has gone fishing. There's a fishing tournament. If you're there at 5 a.m. and there's 90 fishermen that would love a good cup of coffee before they're by the lake all day, that would be a good spot.
Breakfast sandwich.
Two-part question. So do you feel like your branding has gone far enough, and is there enough margin to potentially, again, to the stability that Candace mentioned, of, having a distribution point away from, kind of out of not out of your purview, but, you partner with a retail location. I mean, I assume that you've gone through that kind of thing.
Yes, yeah, I think our brand has been built enough, especially here in Lake County, that we have a following. We have about 1,500 people on our mailing list that they've self-selected into, and we do have followers that follow us from event to event. At least it's in Lake County. So I think we do have a following that would warrant us to be somewhere regularly. I think our biggest issue, like Candace mentioned, is where you're not there regularly. Coffee's not one of those things that people only get on Fridays.
Right.
They might get a casito, a puff pastry only on Fridays, but the coffee they're every day.
Right. So I'll close it up. But first is my comment in the sense of considering what you do for Valencia College, being a professor of entrepreneurship. I mean, what a great lesson for all of us in the sense of, we're turning to you for questions and asking you questions just because of what you study and what you teach. But the fact that you're up here asking, that just shows how dynamic and fluid being an entrepreneur is. So thank you for kind of taking that dynamic and kind of throwing it on its head of, people are used to asking you all these questions, and now you're asking it of us. So to close it out, what can we as the 1 Million Cups community do for you?
I would love to keep the conversation going. with you all as far as any ideas you have. We will be bringing our coffee and pastries to the first meeting of the new year. So if you want to be here for that, that'd be great. But yeah, I just really want to thank you all for having, given me the opportunity to share and to learn from you all. And just to keep the conversation going, really. If you have any events or anything you think we'd be good at, let me know.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm glad Ray said that, because if you want to look at a resume that wows you, look at Jared's resume. And he was talking about his wife Deanna. She's just an incredible woman, and one of my biggest disappointments with this is the fact that Deanna, his wife, got a full-time job and was not going to be able to be part of it, because she wanted to be out organizing things. She's just a great person. So we will get her one day. All right. So we will do the drawing here at the end of the meeting. Who's going to be our first volunteer? This is your opportunity. If you're not able to present, we need a volunteer.
You gonna do a drawing now or later?
We'll do it later. You can't volunteer. You have to have an established business. Anybody? Rosemary, come on up. You get 1 minute and you get 10 minutes of feedback.
Now, let me ask you, I'm a local realtor, so am I allowed?
Yeah.
To speak? Okay,
Yeah.
great. Good morning, everybody. I feel like my biggest struggle personally is the whole social media, and, I know how some things work, but how does A plus B plus C equal gathering, like out-of-state buyers to call me? So I feel like the only way that I've heard that maybe I could, segue into is YouTube videos. And I am a little shy and I feel like my voice is like, it's a little much. So I need to get over all of that, but I don't know where to start. That's my thought. Social media and just getting out there and feeling comfortable talking with everybody. Like one-on-one, I'm fine. But in a crowd or doing a walkthrough and talking to the camera, it seems overwhelming.
I have 2 suggestions for you. This last year, about 15 months, I used a social media manager to make sure that my posting was consistent, even though it wasn't as much me on a camera, because again, I didn't really want to be on a camera. And then the last couple months, I've been experimenting with video that would work on TikTok, and if it works on TikTok, you can cross-pollinate it. And even though I look at the video and I'm like, wow, that looks like crap, people are like, that's a great video, because they focus on the content. And I focused on how stupid my voice sounds, or any of those things, because I'm very self-critical. But the video content, even though it's like 60 to 90 second videos, has got more likes, more followers, more interests, more DMs than anything else that I've done. Even though the social media girl was fantastic and she's local, if you want me to connect you with her, then she has multiple different packages. I just learned 1 post a week for consistency because I was very inconsistent. So, social media manager might be a good fit for you. And some of our higher packages, she'll help you with some of those video content things where you take 1 day out of the month or 1 day out of 2 months and record a bunch of stuff, and then she sprinkles it through everything.
And like I know all of those things, but it's putting it into action, making a plan. And okay, Rose, follow, do step 1, 2, 3. It's like I think of all these 20 things I should be doing, and then I do nothing.
Yeah.
Or I do
So
nothing.
I've gotten to where 2 days a month I meet up with another guy and we do a bunch of short form video, and I have it stored on my phone, and then I'll have to do some editing, which I may not post my editing, so I don't have to do that either. But it's blocking it all off so that I'm not, oh man, I didn't post today, I didn't post tomorrow, I didn't post last week. It's just time blocking it so I can create enough content that I can sprinkle throughout the rest of the month.
Yeah, I will tell you one thing, and here too. I was kind of doing the same thing, and I went through, and the coach was saying, do this, and then take a break, and then do this, and send it here, get it edited. It became such a chore that in my brain, I do a one and done. And when I was doing that, whatever I did, this is what gets posted. And the same thing, I would sit there every time going, this is horrible. And people go, oh, I love your post, whatever.
Because the content was really good. I enjoy your videos.
but literally one and done. And because it's like, this is what I had to do to get past that. And if you that's because you overthink it. Elaine.
I'm very critical.
I was just gonna say, Toastmasters is great. If nothing else, just to build the confidence that what you're saying is coming across the way you want it to, regardless of where or when you're doing it, right? I would say do the uncomfortable until it's comfortable. Just keep doing it. The minute, once you're in it, you're fine. It's that hump of getting into it.
If I didn't raise my hand, I would have never come up here.
Exactly.
Like,
So you just did it.
Yeah.
That's what you gotta keep doing. And then schedule it on your calendar. Literally mark it in your calendar when you want to block off time to do whatever it is. If it's learning, if it's listening to your own YouTube, so that you know how to do the next one you want to do, or going to a class,
And
or
it might be getting used to my own voice. Like,
Sure.
I hear myself, I don't know, it sounds a lot annoying to me, but maybe.
it's not annoying.
Mind it.
It's not, is it annoying? No, it's not annoying.
I will tell you, I don't know if Jess will back me up, but don't listen to it. I listen to mine, I would never do
You're gonna hate
that.
it.
You're always your worst critic.
Let's go to Jared and then Kyle.
Yeah, my only suggestion would be, when you first start out, just start small. And make sure that whatever you decide to do, that you follow through with that. The thing is with especially with social media and creating any kind of content, you don't want to create a beast that you have to feed, and then it becomes way overwhelming. So if you just do a 30-second YouTube video or a TikTok video, once every Monday, then that's what you do. And just be consistent with it, because that's the biggest thing. And then as far as like listening to yourself, whatever, if that freaks you out, just don't listen to it. And just know that you've got information that others would benefit from, because what you think is secondhand or like everybody knows this, everybody does not know. And by you putting that information out there, you could really help somebody. And it's kind of because you have that knowledge, it's your duty to do that.
It's your duty, and I just think it all, but
It's not about
2024, I'm not gonna do that anymore.
Well, and I think this is a great opportunity or program to learn that, I think the biggest thing for me is educating. And, we come here to educate, we come here to help, not sell. And I think education is bigger than selling, because selling pushes away.
Right. I feel like I do that a majority of the time, would you agree? Yeah.
Yeah, we're just waiting for time.
Social media is part of your branding. And the unfortunate thing is if you only do it like once a month, you're not branding yourself. It's gotta be, social media is omnipresent, it's everywhere, but it's very fleeting. So if you're up there and then you're not there for another month, people do not remember it. So it's almost gotta be, I don't wanna say daily, but it's gotta be out there all the time. So everybody, you're their first thought, your top of mind awareness of, I need a realtor. I see her post every day. Let me go find her. As opposed to, I remember somebody a month ago, they're never gonna find it. And for someone like you that needs it done all the time but doesn't have the bandwidth to do it all the time, you have to almost outsource or get some help.
Have you ever thought of doing live video?
Well, our old coach at KW, he's no longer with us, but that's what he did. So one of our tasks, we would have power day once a month, like 9 to 3, and one of the tasks was going live. Which, had I known that, I wouldn't have shown up for the day. But I would stay home.
The other thing is,
And people loved it. It was so much engagement, and I'm like, I was listening to my voice.
right, the other thing is, when you start talking about something you're passionate about, we all move closer to you.
Oh, okay.
So, talk about stuff that comes from your heart.
Doing some voiceovers. That way you can kind of, navigate or edit. So it could be like 20 seconds of just maybe putting like a flyer, not necessarily your face or just a voiceover, something quick and easy, and then just build on that until you get more comfortable.
Thank you.
All right, we're gonna go to Greg and Ryan, we got 3 minutes left.
Okay, as a fellow realtor, the business
page, and then to measure. So those are the, and then you know what, Rosemary, the best thing to do is when you do an open house or anything, or going to view a property, just put it on Facebook Live and take a video of it and just start practicing.
I do that.
Organic, just being organic. Who cares if you make mistakes, whatever, just being organic. It took me a long time to understand that too, because I'm this. This is true social media for me. I'm old school, but I need to embrace that, and being organic, it's amazing. So it doesn't have to be perfect.
So just kind of piggybacking off of what Jesse said too, like social media manager. In my experience, we've recently been using it for about a month and a half now, but our post engagements went from about smaller page. I wasn't really focusing on like 25 to 30 engagements to like a video we did yesterday. I had over 800. And so a lot of that was just like changing up one frequency of posts, but being more informative in those posts. So rather than just like, hey, here's a nice house.
Right, exactly.
Giving some value to that post, whatever that may be. Ways to stage your home, or things like that, to like increase your sales with this. So that would just be my recommendation, but it's been great having somebody that was on the outside for me to get the consistency, but then also watching the trends in our business to say, hey, this is what's working right now. You do you, give me this. It's worked really well.
Let me get back to what you and Greg said and Juan over to you. To me, and I hope I don't offend anybody, but this has become our 15-second thing. We're not doing authentic videos. We're acting it. We're stating it. You can see when it's like, Hollywood has come to social media. And to me, when I see that, I just keep going. If I see something authentic and I think to Greg's point, I think we just have to be authentic. That's me personally. That's just not something that I'm going to follow. I want to see it authentic.
Well, I actually just went to a financial convention, FinCon, and it's mostly creatives. Like 80% YouTubers and bloggers.
All of us are. It's like, oh, I have an accent, or my voice doesn't come out. But you just need to write a script, get some points across, some bullet points, make it educational. I posted a video the other day, got, 1,100 hits. And I thought it was a horrible video, but it was just me on a job showing someone what we do, and they're like, that's very informative, do more of these. But when I'm joking around, nobody watches those videos, so it's like, secondly, I found out, I think going back to one of those guys over there that said something, making sure that the trends there, what's changing in the market, and I kind of post the same time every day. I think they have from 8 to 10 o'clock, people wake up on their way to work, they're watching these phones on social media, and then of course from 5 to 8 o'clock is the peak time to post. Whatever it is that you're posting, because people are getting back and they're just scrolling. They may not like or comment, but they're just scrolling to watch. So
yeah, we have an office in the room, so they're not watching while they're driving. we got to end up because we're going to go to the next one. But you guys come around and talk afterwards. But thank you, Brian. Thank you. Todd, actually, this is not how she goes back and mouth Todd. Todd actually emailed me and said, hey, can I present? And I said, hey, sorry, but no. But this is the opportunity, so go ahead.
Yeah, so good morning, my name is Todd. I'm the CEO of Bank. For those of you that don't know, we've been around since 1926, so longer than the air conditioning unit. I've been in banking for 20 years, but I've traveled around based on promotions, and so I've gone from community to community, Seminole County, Orange County, Lake County, and now I'm here in Eustis. The last 3 years in the branch, Eustis Bank, I focused on our existing customer base, getting them, introducing myself, and finding out what their needs are. My plan and focus is to think about financial needs for individuals and businesses when they're not thinking about it for themselves. So my question is to you today, how do I get in front of groups? Because I'm really good one-to-one, but I'd like to get in front of groups to talk about our solutions. And then also, as a banker who's been in banking for 20 years, what does the community need from me? All right.
So you say groups, are you talking, you know, I mean, you can go Rotary, Kiwanis, Civic Clubs kind of thing, you can talk 55 and older communities, I mean, is it all of the above? Is that, do you have a sweet spot yourself in terms of what you?
Yes, the sweet spot can be schools and also networking groups, but really it's to transition customers to work with Seacoast Bank. So really looking for new customers, but having a space of getting a platform to be able to share what we do. So for example, we can talk to people about teaching children about the habits of saving at an early age, so they have these behaviors. We can talk about retirements, so we can talk about your checking account, checking savings on the banking bill pay, using your mobile phone. Like the simplicity of banking. Banking should be very, very simple. So that's the places, just getting into groups of people that maybe aren't happy currently with the banking situation.
So this is that, we're gonna Greg next, and then you guys have to do, but I'll pose a question too, that, you know, a couple things I've tried is to throw out there and to schedule, like trainings. If you did it the same day, the same day, every Friday, 12 o'clock, we're gonna have a training. You might get nobody in the first couple of weeks. Will that eventually grow? And I don't know, I have not done that. I'll try to throw them out there and I get nothing back on. But if you just have it and you just put the information out there every week, I will have a training at 12 o'clock on Friday. Does that work over time? Will it grow? Because that might be a way to get people to attend. It's getting that mailing list, but I don't know. I mean, I've had no success on it. Right.
You guys are a local small bank, and I like what you're doing because there's a lot of other banks that do a lot more marketing of what they have. I have to go as a realtor. I look at all the lending companies around here, and what you're doing, I just want to give you kudos because you're a small bank, and sometimes these small banks, they got a history with people, so they really don't focus on the future of marketing to new people, younger people, and I just want to give you kudos for that.
So in South Lake, we have a thing called Solutions Network. It's Wednesday mornings, 8 o'clock. They allow you to speak in front of them. That's one thing. Another thing is to collaborate, possibly with nonprofits, people who are getting into their homes for the first time. The other thing is to be on a panel with other banks, like who supported the beverages. Yeah, USB. So that you can show differences between what you do. And then there's Ballard Financial down in South Lake, and he holds sessions every 3 months, and it's every Thursday evening at 6 o'clock. It's usually at the city center, and one's on retirement, one's on taxes, one's on estate planning. And that's how it works.
Yes.
So I had a couple different questions. What makes Seacoast different from other banks?
Well, I think with Seacoast being a community bank, so we've been around since 1926, but we're just in the state of Florida, and that's our affiliates. And so it's not a one-size-fits-all. We don't, it's not a square peg round hole. We have a consultation approach to find out what it is the individual needs. We look at what they've done in the past. We look at what they're doing now. We look at where they want to go, and then we put together projections of this is how it's been, this is where you are, and this is where you can go. And these are the action steps that it takes. So we make it very transparent. It's not, this is your loan, this is your savings account, this is your checking account, this is your online presence. That's the lot. We will map out a plan of action for them. Simply all they have to do, like an exercise plan. Show up, do the action.
Okay, so would you put that in one word, would you say relationship?
It's relationship. It's a consultative relationship.
Okay. Second question is, what product or service that Seacoast offers is you most excited?
It's our lending. So we specialize in lending, so cars, boats, RVs, home improvement, but also small business lending. Anybody that would like to have a conversation about small business lending, that's what we focus on: commercial real estate, vehicles, equipment, lines of credit, and then having a consultative approach on looking at it to say, how much are you making per year, taxable income, this is your income, this is the loan, this is the action plan of what you're looking to do, and then based on the payment that you have, putting it into your current situation, does it make sense? So in a lending conversation, if somebody leaves, they're gonna leave with a loan, or they're gonna leave with a plan. Okay.
My only thoughts were kind of what Jesse was saying. What sets you apart from all the other banks? But you've already kind of answered that. And then going back to kind of what you were saying, Jim, about doing seminars or teaching. I mean, I know as a new entrepreneur, just coming into this space, I've learned so much about banking and how much more your dollar is worth as being an entrepreneur. Having conversations around taxes or around how to spend your money, because you know, if you spend something on your business account, you better be able to, you know, going back into your QuickBooks and how are you gonna, you know, label this? And I think just down to the basics and having conversations with whatever group you're in front of, making it educational. It's, you know, going into colleges about savings accounts and Roths and 401k, all of this stuff. I just believe that there's a lot of untapped potential when it comes to education and our finances.
You are so well spoken and you are so good at connecting with people. That is definitely a strong suit for you. Everyone this day and age is looking for customized and personalized plans of whatever. I mean, down to their hair care, right? You can get it customized to you. And I think that you have the opportunity to capitalize on that 100%. Even if you did, we were just talking about social media, so that's what's on my mind, but if you did like little did you knows, like this long, because nobody's gonna watch a 30-minute video, right? This long, and you take something, you take an idea that is overcomplicated in banking, and you simplify it, because that's what you do, right? And then you speak on that for this long, but only make it like a commercial word, so that everybody's not getting everything, but in order to get the rest of the movie, and not just the trailer, come see Todd, right? Not come see Seacoast, come see Todd, because you are there building your relationship. You want them coming in asking for, hey, is Todd here? Right? Not walking into the bank of Seacoast. I don't know, maybe you should call it like Tuesdays with Todd.
So I think one of the big things is most people don't know what banks can do and what they can't do. So you know, Henry Ford famously said, if I asked people what they wanted, they would say faster horses. You know, so I think a lot of people don't know what a bank can and can't do because they only really engage in banks, especially today, in today's age. They really only engage in banks a few times, you know, most people. And then the other thing is, I think that, you know, putting yourself out there and you know, kind of like what Elaine was saying about, you know, kind of getting out there yourself is good, because I think a lot of people in today's society have a really bad taste about banks, especially after the mortgage thing of, you know, the last decade, and you know, and so forth, and then, you know, banks are collapsing in Silicon Valley, and like, I think people are really kind of almost as pessimistic about banks as they are as lawyers now. So kind of getting out there and educating people on what they need to know about banks and how to go about those processes would be really helpful.
All right, we got about a minute and a half left.
What Delaney says, Todd, did you ever start a Facebook account? No. Okay, so we gotta get you on there. So I actually bank at or Seacoast, sorry. But I think we like Todd, and of course we like Seacoast, but Delaney
We
says,
like Seacoast because we like Todd.
because we like Todd. So that's one of the things that I was gonna say, Facebook account.
So I met Todd 3 weeks ago. Already had 2 meetings with the gentleman. So everything I was saying about him is true. He's getting in spaces already. He met with teachers and everything like that. So part of our that CTE expo I was talking about in April, he's already going to be there, registered and so forth. So he's doing all those things. But the thing I enjoyed the most when talking to him was he told stories. I still remember that elderly couple story he told about how you have to save. They were in debt their entire life, and he taught them how to save $700 a month so they can actually retire. And so share those stories. And cause I know we talk a lot, but that's how I remember the most. So,
Ladies first. Go ahead, come on. No, quick thought. What about getting in with like homeless shelters? Because I'm sure that a lot of like the homeless do not have bank accounts, but if they're needing like government funding or they're getting assistance, they're going to need to be set up with a bank account. So maybe, or even so like homeless shelters or rehab facilities, live streams, food banks.
Do something out of the ordinary that no one.
Absolutely.
So last year.
People get their benefits and give them a place to go.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
All right, last one.
I'm done.
Oh, all right, and the one point, I don't know what the legalities are, or whatever. I think everybody's biggest missed opportunities are their databases. Contact the database and say, hey, I have a training. Who do you know? I think we really missed the boat on databases to get people in the room. All right, thank God. All right, so I think as we wrap up, any community announcements? Great.
This weekend, the Nutcracker from Ocala, the college, will be at Bay Street Players. So if you don't want to make that trip down to Orlando and pay $150 a ticket to see that Nutcracker, we do have one here. And parking is free, and you can find a place to park. So that's this weekend, and to let you know, Todd, Seacoast Bank, Todd, myself at the Chamber, SBDC, and the UCF Incubator are going to have a session in January, and we'll announce later, but we're going to have a session in January on what Seacoast can do for you as a small business. And I didn't know a lot of the services they offered, very, very, the point of sale systems, they have that package for small businesses. So when we announce it, please come. Please come.
Right.
And I do have a card that I didn't put in there. And I have never won.
The odds are.
Only 5 cards in there. As we wrap up, one of the things I wanted to mention is we had Lake County Board of County Commissioner Kirby Smith came in a couple days ago and did a segment. He does a video segment called Tour Shorts. And he came in talking about economic development and how this has really become the hub. This, I think, physically as a building has become that, but also the community which is represented here. So spread the word, keep spreading the word in terms of those entrepreneurs who need this help. We've had presenters, I think, and good examples of people who, I think if we would have gotten in front of a year ago, we would be in a much better place. And I think that is really the takeaway. And as I think we're crossing 2 months, maybe 10 weeks now. Again, I thought it would take much longer than that to get this up and running, but the fact that the commissioner came here, wanted to see this, he's going to be coming back and express interest to do something specifically about 1 million cups. And I think it's just very important to keep that in mind of what this is really doing. So,
We got a couple more. We have a Facebook response.
All right, Jimmy said, well, first of all, Jimmy asked who the speaker was and where he's from, but then he found it. He also says, I use repurpose.io sometimes to share between TikTok and Instagram. So just the question was asked online, what do you use to help your social media presence so that we could just share that with everybody? Thank you, Jimmy.
What did he say he uses? Say it again.
Repurpose.io.
All right, Jimmy, come next week and we're going to give you some swag.
There you go,
Only comment on Facebook.
My name is Ben Telfrick. I live in South Lake County. I'm a small farmer. I teach sustainability. This Saturday at 9 a.m. we are having a Yucca Fest. We're going to dig up yucca. We're going to show you how to prepare it. Yucca has cyanide in it, so you have to boil it for at least 20 minutes within the first 24 hours that it's out of the ground. We will also give you sticks of yucca that you can grow right after the first freeze in March, and you can have 20 to 50 pounds of yucca of your own. We also have other events there. We have stargazing. We also have drum circle. We've had Tai Chi on the farm. Look us up on Eventbrite, and it's here on the farm, Claremont, Florida, not Claremont, France.
All right. Last announcements. Josh, you want to pick us a winner?
Yeah.
I while he's doing that, I will say, stay afterwards, ask Todd about his fish taco story.
She brought us details.
They left.
Oh, they left.
Oh.
You gotta be present.
Gotta be present to win.
Gotta be present to win.
That's right.
Marie.
Tasha Drayton?
Didn't you win last week?
I did.
You did that.
Oh, she won last week.
We'll do one more.
Tommy's better than one.
Go Marie, go Marie.
All right, Maria.
Is it Maria or Maria?
Yeah.
Maria, Alberta? Alberta?
That's me.
There you go.
I'll answer.
So we are done for the day. We're gonna do a quick picture, if everybody can stay, we'll gather up here, and that's Juan's favorite part of the meeting.
Yes.
Tell your friends and business partners, join us next week.